To the good people of Portchester Community Choir, you may remember me, my name's Dee. I came in and did a guest coaching session with you recently. I just recently decided that a follow-up video from the workshop might be a useful resource, so I'm just going to video the finer points of what we covered in the group so that you can have this as a resource to help you. So as it wasn't desperately recently, please excuse me referring to my session plan. I can remember what of this we actually did. So one of the things we discussed was accessing different parts of your range. So if you feel that you sort of get stuck against the barrier at a certain point in your voice, or you struggle to get high, or you struggle to get low, there were a couple of exercises that we opened with to help you access that. So the first thing was, if you struggle to get low, a good exercise to practice accessing that part of your voice is to bark like a big dog. So if you imagine that you've got a lovely big gentle Great Dane who lives next door to you, and woof, and he barks like that, woof. It's a really good way of practicing moving the larynx into that position that accesses that lower part of the register. Woof. So that's getting over the barrier to get low. If you're finding that you're struggling to get high, it was Minnie Mouse on helium. So and just make some of those silly noises without straining. So just do it softly and don't push it. So once we've got those two, areas of the voice opened up a little bit, we can do some organic sirens. So we did some of these slidey exercises, and we're going to start in the middle, we're going to swoop down, we're going to come through the middle, we're going to swoop up and back to the middle. So we're going to go, so basically this is your speaking voice, your impression of a Great Dane, back through your speaking voice, your impression of Minnie Mouse, and back to the middle. So it's ooh, ee, ooh, wee, oo. So start on ooh, come down on ooh, come up on e, and back to ooh in the middle. Ooh, I call that a figure of eight siren or an organic siren. And we're going to do two more of those. So breathe out. Nice deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. And last one. Breathe out first. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. And what we're looking for there is that it feels nice. It feels like, it feels like a really good stretch. And it's smooth and it's connected. It may well take a couple of repetitions for it to get smooth and connected. You carry tension in your voice just like sometimes you get a stiff back or a stiff leg or whatever. So it's no reflection of you as a singer. It's just it's just what happens, and you need to do those exercises to stretch that out. So that's a really good range extension exercise, and it's just a good overall vocal health stretch. So we did that, and then we did I did a little demonstration of different styles of vocal production. So we had whispering, is it a crime, with that soft whispery quality. One thing I do find when people sing quietly is that we tend to drop the energy completely. So if you think of it like an intense whisper, it tends to still have energy in the sound, it's just not loud. So that's a very emotive, lovely quality. And then a normal sort of speaking level, so around about the volume where I'm speaking now, or if you were speaking to somebody who's standing next to you, when the rain is blowing in your face, you hear that slightly more full voice, than it's a fuller voice than the whisper. But it's not, you're not working hugely hard, it's a nice sort of medium volume. And then we've got musical shouting, yeah, which which some people call belt. There are other terms for it as well. So we've got those three different styles of vocal production. Most community choirs stay within your whisper and speaking level. You may find that there are some instances and short passages, or some songs, some like maybe more upbeat songs where you want to sing in a fuller voice, but it's not something that happens a huge amount in community choirs. Largely, I don't know, maybe speaking out of turn here, but largely because that is where you're most likely to hurt yourself. So that's something that Ruth did say that you'd like to learn how to do that, but we didn't actually cover it in this class. So that was just a demonstration of how you can explore the range of expression that you have in your speaking voice, implemented into your singing. So that is something that's possible. So singing with tension is something that we discussed. So lots and lots of people tense up when they sing. It's really something that we need to try and stamp out as much as possible, and all of these things will help you do it. So organic siren and doing that on a regular basis will really help. Just exploring your upper and lower limits, even if you never use those notes up there. You know, if you sing a tenor part, or if you sing a low ladies part or something, and you have no intention of using that upper register, it's still good for you to practice it, and you'll get better use out of what you do want to use. So and it's healthy, so it's keeping your voice healthy. The number one biggest complaint from community singers that I see is strain issues. So stuff like soreness, discomfort, limits on your range where you feel like you're just stuck, like we were talking about earlier. So we did a little bit of voiced sighing. So we've got a little bit of voiced sighing. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3. Good. And again. And you're looking for that effortlessness in the sound. And just repeat that again. Some days you'll be more tense than others. Some days you might need 5 or 6 repetitions. Other days you might do 2 and they're lovely. And interruption technique was something that I talked about. So something else that can help you release tension. So if you feel that you're starting to get tense while you're singing, or you start tense while you're singing, one of the things that you can do to loosen that off is to swallow and to yawn. So this is something that definitely, while you're exercising and while you're rehearsing, unless you're doing it, gig conditions run through, use these techniques. Don't just put up with it. This has been my mantra for this year. Don't just tolerate it. I cannot express enough how bad it is for you, and you don't have to put up with it. So don't just carry on singing, just release by yawn. Nice big yawn, and then swallow. Now swallowing is good because obviously you can do that in a performance situation. You can't stop what you're doing in a performance situation, do a big yawn and have a voiced sigh. It's not really the done thing, but swallowing is a good one. The larynx comes up and down, and that releases tension in the vocal tract, which is your throat basically. So that's a good thing, and that's a good thing to have in your arsenal. So those are the things that we talked about. So the interruption technique is when you feel like you're starting to get tense, stop, yawn, swallow, sigh, try again. And then as it starts to get tense, and then you'll slowly learn, your body will adjust to having to just generally carrying less tension while we're singing. So then I gave out a handout with a puppy dog on it. This is all to do with releasing tension. So those are the main points of what we covered. We had some Q&A and that sort of thing, and you asked me some questions. One of the things that came up was drinking water. It takes up to 4 hours for the water that you drink to systemically hydrate your voice. So what that means is that with the water that you drink, as you're drinking it, whilst it reduces the desire to cough and that sort of thing, because particularly if you are using like a whisper tone where it's very breathy, that can dry out your throat and make you want to cough and stuff like that, like this. Perfect demonstration. That can make you that irritates the vocal cords, so it's good to have water to sip while you're singing. But the vocal cords, if you want the vocal cords themselves to be well hydrated while you're singing, which does make everything a million times easier, you need to have a good pint or two of water 3-4 hours before a big event. So, you know, depending on how seriously you want to take it. This is the sort of thing with my choir, I'm much more encouraging of them doing this when we have important performances and things like that. I don't really get on their backs at rehearsals and stuff like that because it just becomes unworkable. But the better hydrated you are, the easier it is to sing. So it's something that we can do, something fairly easy that we can do to make the singing better. So that was the main points of what we covered in the workshop. I'm going to just isolate out the exercises and give you like a little mini workout so that you can just do that without listening to me rambling. So I will do that in a separate video, and I hope you're all well and see you soon. Thanks, bye.